I know, I'm kidding. This is my anchoring debut. But this is going on my reel, guys, so I'm just kidding.
Even without the tease?
I know. That was the defy.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Today on UMTV News, tens of millions of people across North America halted their lives on Monday to witness an incredible sight in the sky.
Plus, we will take you to one exhibit on campus that was created as a way for people to cope with trauma.
And later on, one of the biggest tournaments in American sports has come to an end. We will tell you who won.
Don't go anywhere because UMTV News starts right now. Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Maddie Basalik.
And I'm Ryan Marshall. Thank you for joining us. If you or anyone you know has student loan debt, relief might be coming your way. The Biden administration is trying to erase some of what people owe, but the initiative only applies to certain borrowers, and it faces potential hurdles.
Today, too many Americans, especially young people, are saddled with unsustainable debts in exchange for a college degree.
President Biden has a new strategy to forgive some student loan debt. The White House says it would help more than 30 million borrowers if implemented and combined with plans the administration has enacted already.
Even if they get by, they still have this crushing debt.
The initiative targets federal borrowers who have unpaid interest beyond a certain threshold, 20 or more years in repayment, eligibility for loan programs in which they're not enrolled, education from a so-called low financial value program, and certain hardships like medical debt.
Most people should not have to carry this kind of worry.
The new plans are more selective than Biden's previous initiative, which was for most middle and low-income federal borrowers. The Supreme Court says action that broad needs to involve Congress. And many Republicans say taxpayers who didn't go to college shouldn't fund degrees for those who did.
Across the board, student loan forgiveness is regressive.
The new plans aren't ready for signups yet. It could take months to finalize them, and they'll likely face legal challenges.
Democrats will continue exploring every option under the sun to lower costs and make college more affordable.
More information is available at studentaid.gov.
A total solar eclipse took over the United States on Monday as tens of millions of Americans got to experience the phenomenon. About 32 million Americans were in path of complete totality as the moon passed between the Earth and Sun. The total eclipse happened in a strip ranging from Texas up through the Midwest and all the way up north.
What just happened was the moon was super extra nice. It moved in front of the sun and it made everything dark, and it was amazing.
Those in the path of totality had their world turn dark for about 3 to 4 minutes. A total eclipse like this will not happen again in the United States until 2044.
Across the world, another heat record has been broken for the 10th consecutive month. According to the European Union's climate monitoring service called Copernicus, last month was the hottest March on record for our planet. The global average temperature for the past month was almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Experts agree that the reason for the unprecedented heat is long-term global warming. New data showed some of the greatest rises in average temperatures included North America, Central America, parts of South America, and Eastern and Central Europe.
Residents in the Northeast received a shocking alert on their phones on Friday morning. A rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake rattled parts of the Northeast. The earthquake happened just before 10:30 a.m. The epicenter was in Lebanon, New Jersey, just 50 miles west of New York City. The U.S. Geological Survey says over 23 million people felt light shaking. There were no severe damage or injuries, but there are worries of possible aftershocks.
The likelihood of aftershocks remain low. but we do remain vigilant, and we ask all New Yorkers to remain vigilant as well.
The earthquake was the third largest recorded in the area in the last 50 years.
The parents of the 17-year-old Michigan school shooter who killed 4 people in 2021 have each been sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison. Jennifer and James Crumbley have both been found guilty on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter in relation to the shooting 3 years ago. According to the prosecution, the parents not only ignored warning signs before the shooting, but actually bought the gun for their son, Ethan Crumbley, who at 15 at the time he carried out his attack, is serving life in prison without parole. The parents will be credited with 858 days as this time served as they were in prison awaiting their trial.
The Arizona Supreme Court has ruled that a 106-year-old near-total abortion ban is still enforceable, adding Arizona to the list of states where abortion is effectively banned. The ruling that was established in 1864 would make all abortion a felony, punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison for anyone who performs or obtains one. The ruling undoes a much more recent 15-week ban passed 2 years ago.
This is going to criminalize doctors for doing their jobs, and it's going to have a devastating effect on the health and freedom of women in Arizona.
The Arizona Supreme Court has said it will put their decision on hold for 14 days to allow the lower courts to consider constitutional challenges that have not yet been cleared. Vice President Kamala Harris will be traveling to Arizona on Friday to continue her efforts for reproductive freedom.
Annual Pride celebrations have begun in Miami Beach to bring awareness to the rights of the LGBTQ+ community.
Why?
Belen Duran went to check out the celebrations and joins us now live with more. Belen?
I had the pleasure to attend to 2 of the kickoff events for Miami Beach Pride and spoke with some of the members of the organization to learn the purpose of these celebrations.
At the twilight's last
April 2nd was the beginning of the 2-week-long Pride celebration, including the flag raising in Miami Beach City Hall.
The importance of the event is for people to come out and express themselves, to be who they really are. There are people out there that are questioning whether life is worth living because they've experienced such hate.
I think that this year, with our theme being pride, progress, and perseverance, it's also really important for us to also take a look back. So we know that right now in Florida, there's a lot of challenging legislation, especially geared toward our trans brothers and sisters.
These celebrations are not only organized to include people to the community, but also to fight for their rights.
If you want to see things continue to change and get better and to stop the pushback, you have to vote. You have to get people in there that will support our communities.
And the mission is continuing to fight for rights and to roll back some of these really harmful pieces of legislation that affect our families, our children, our teachers, our trans brothers and sisters, and our allies.
The organizers invite people to pay close attention to the people that are running for office.
Pride Lights tonight is the kickoff celebration where Pride Lights lit up here in Lincoln Road in memorial to those lost in Paul's nightclub tragedy.
We do not want differences. We want to be included and simply all live together, be friends, be family, and belong to a community.
Miami Beach Pride organization wants to work with people that may oppose the LGBTQ+ community and find a common ground.
If you're interested in getting involved with Miami Beach Pride organization or for more information, visit miamibeachpride.com. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Belen Duran.
Thank you, Belen. And here on campus, the University of Miami LGBTQ+ Alliance hosted its first annual Leadership, Opportunity, Vision, and Empowerment, or LOVE, Symposium on Saturday. The event aimed to educate members of the LGBTQ+ community as well as allies on a variety of topics using workshops, presentations, and networking opportunities. The events ranged from a salsa class to a crash course on applying to graduate schools, but more than anything, the goal was this.
It's to celebrate queerness and our allies, and that no matter what's going on out there in the world, we can always find a home when we come to campus and just have friends to support us, staff that supports us. So really just different ways of empowering our youth and each other and ourselves.
The event ran from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and featured a keynote address from Sine Julien, the co-founder of SoFlo Period Pantry, on the importance of reproductive justice for the LGBTQ+ community.
Next on UMTV News, one country music star arrested after letting the liquor talk too much. We will have details when we return.
I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
A powerful movement is underway at the center of the U.S.-Mexico border region. Driven by women's creativity and resilience, it has caught University of Miami faculty and students' attention. Maddie Mikan joins us live to tell us more. Maddie?
Art is a powerful form of expression, so U.S. University of Miami officials decided to display works of women who are seeking asylum on the U.S.-Mexico border. The University of Miami American Students Program presents the grand opening of the Emotional Embroidery exhibit. On Monday, the ceremony was held to welcome the display.
It's called Embroidering Hope, or Bordando Esperanza, and what we're exhibiting today is it's a sort of itinerant artistic show of the work of different women who have been detained along the U.S.-Mexican border.
Women's experiences while seeking asylum are displayed via artwork they created. Beyond mere exhibition, it serves as a motivation for these women, providing economic support and empowerment.
Well, our goal is obviously definitely to raise awareness about the situation, the gravity of the situation on the U.S.-Mexican border, but also to bring hope.
The event featured food from tacos and tattoos. Bypassers came to eat and enjoy the creations. Before the event, the organization Artisans Beyond Borders embroidery supervisor Wendy Lopez held a roundtable to discuss the handmade heritage arts. Artisans Beyond Borders supports women on both sides of the border.
We're exploring these bordados in order to better understand the coping and the process that asylum seekers go through. And there's a lot about hope, love, faith.
While women seek asylum at the border, they are detained and encounter many horrors. Most are separated from their families and face the constant threat of abuse or exploitation. These art pieces become a support system. From documenting personal experiences to preserving cultural heritage, emotional embroidery serves as a tool for empowerment and social change. The artwork is currently displayed at the Norman A. Whitten University Center. It will be held there until April 29th. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Maddie Mikan.
Thank you, Maddie. Country music star Morgan Wallen has been arrested over the weekend. The artist, with a song titled Man Made a Bar, has gotten himself into trouble for throwing a chair off the roof of one. The chair flew 6 floors before crashing onto Nashville's famous Broadway street. As for Wallen, according to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, he will have to plead his verdict on 3 felony counts of reckless endangerment as well as a misdemeanor for disorderly conduct. He was bailed out at 3:30 in the morning on Monday for more than $15,000.
Beyonce is making music history again, this time with her new country album, Act 2, Cowboy Carter. She became the first black woman to top the country albums charts with the new release. The new collection of songs also tops the Billboard 200 albums chart, which is the 8th time Beyonce has achieved that feat. 2 months ago, the Queen Bee also made history when one of her debut singles from her new album, Texas Hold'em, captured the top spot on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart.
April is Autism Acceptance Month, which aims to foster greater awareness, acceptance, and inclusion for those affected by the condition. Last Monday, Coral Gables kicked off the month by raising the Autism Acceptance flag at City Hall. District 7 Commissioner Raquel Regalado joined students and staff of Coral Gables Special Education School Crystal Academy for the occasion. Then on Tuesday, Miami Police Departments participated in a citywide caravan with specially wrapped vehicles with messages like love and understanding. The caravan's last stop just so happened to be Crystal Academy.
We brought tears to everybody here because we never expected to actually fill out this playground with cars wrapped in autism messages, right? And this year they have 11 more cars than last year, so it's growing.
The students interacted with the officers, checked out their rides, and even prepared a concert for the occasion. Maria says an event like this is important because it gives officers a chance to interact with people on the spectrum. She also stressed the importance of sensitivity training for police and first responders.
Up next, we will tell you all about the 2024 Men's and Women's March Madness Championship. Stay with us.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
April showers bring May flowers, and March brings along madness in the form of college basketball. Last night, the madness of the 64-team bracket concluded, and we have a winner. The University of Connecticut, better known as UConn Huskies, men's basketball defeated Purdue to win the second championship in a row and their 6th overall. The final score was 75-60. UConn finished their 40-game season with 37 wins to only 3 losses. As for Purdue, star center Zach Edey scored 37 of their 60 points. We will have to see if the NBA is next for him.
The Women's NCAA March Madness tournament has come to a close too, crowning the University of South Carolina as its champion. On Sunday, the #1 South Carolina Gamecocks played against the #1 Iowa Hawkeyes to earn their 3rd national championship title. The top seed in the tournament ended their season undefeated after losing last year in the semifinal round of March Madness, and their head coach is quite pleased with their perfect season.
I mean, this is different because I mean, it was so unexpected. You know, yes, we have a team full of talented players, but as our season ended last year in the semifinals, you're not promised to win a national championship.
The game ended with a score of 87-75. Iowa star Caitlin Clark played in her last college game and scored 30 points for the Hawkeyes. Tessa Johnson led the scoring for the Gamecocks with 19 points, and Camila Cardoso scored 15. This win marked only the 10th perfect season in women's basketball history.
April is Earth Month, and here at the University of Miami campus, there are a series of workshops, panel discussions, and planting events. They all highlight the university's role in creating solutions to fight climate change and inspire the community to protect the planet. Carlos Solares attended one of the events, and he joins us live in the studio with more. Carlos?
That's right. I went over to the event on campus that was hosted by the UM's Office of Sustainability and the Student Government Eco Agency this past Saturday. For University of Miami second-year Ecosystem Science and Anthropology student Laura Navorska, helping the community is the best way to spend her weekend.
We're having beautiful weather, and I really wanted to be able to improve water quality and make a difference here on campus.
Lauren is one of 20 volunteers who participated in a mangrove planting event on the University of Miami Coral Gables campus. The event was organized by UM's Office of Sustainability and the Student Government Eco Agency at the beginning of April, which is Earth Month.
I think it's a really good way for students to get involved here on campus. We have staff, students, and volunteers from around the community here today, as well as a way for people to learn more about our environment and nature, and today, mangroves.
The mangrove planting is the culmination of a project that began back in 2022.
2.5 years ago, it started with propagules, which are like the seeds for mangrove, planted on windows on campus in libraries, where basically those propagules would start germinating. And then those propagules would be potted and then planted in a restoration site like this one.
Even though the University of Miami is not close to the coast, this mangrove planting event serves as a perfect example of what should be done everywhere. Mangroves are the best natural barriers against sea level rise and storm surge impacts.
In a canal, it's not exactly where it's most needed, but that's where UM at least can make the case and educate people about the power of mangrove to fight against climate change, and mostly about the impact of hurricanes, storm surge.
After planting the mangroves, volunteers placed rocks and mulch to create a path that will lead people to the mangrove area.
For me, it is a fantastic way to reconnect with nature, see my mark being made on campus, and really give a chance to give back.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Carlos Alares. The next time the Office of Sustainability and the Eco Agency will meet in the area for the ongoing project will be on Sunday, April 28th to create a butterfly garden with native plants on the other side of the path. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Carlos Alares.
Thank you, Carlos. And that's all we have for today's program. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be back next week at the same time. Have a good night.